Welcome to a quick squeeze here from Chicago, Illinois, which is where I reside. Anthony Pasquazi here, and I'm excited to go watch our men's basketball team travel to Wheaton College later today and tomorrow to take on Wheaton Thunder today, and then the winner or loser, depending on if we win or lose, of Dubuque and Hanover. Now, this tournament has 4 different teams, all from 4 different conferences. Wheaton Thunder from the Collegiate Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin, Dubuque from the American Rivers Conference, and Hanover from the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. All 4 of these teams have winning records. All 4 of these teams have gotten up to a great start. They have a combined record of 27-7 between all of them. So these games are most assuredly going to be competitive ones. So I decided to kind of do a little bit of a research, a little bit of a scouting report on all 4 of the teams, just so that you, the Squeeze listener, could be a little more educated. Whether you're watching these games on the internet stream provided by Wheaton College, or you're just going to be there in person, if you are, say hi to me, I'll be there. You'll have a little bit more information going in to the viewing of these games. I'll start out with our boys from Minnesota, St. Mary's University, 6-1, 3-1 in the MIAC. The only loss of the year to number 14, St. John's, the 14th ranked team in the country. They are sitting at 9-1 already this year. We lost that game 77-63. SMU off to a point differential of plus 78. Point differential is something that I pay attention to. It's what I take into consideration when I'm judging the quality of any sports team, really, and to have a 78-point differential through 7 games is really, really good. Leading scorers, Eli Cave, Raheem Anthony, Kareem Anthony Bello. Really, this team goes so deep. Even if Eli Cave is struggling just a bit, Raheem Anthony's going to pick it up with a 20-point game, or Kareem Anthony, or Kevin Gleason. He can go off from behind the arc at really any time. 6'7", 6'4", 6'4", respectively, Eli Cave, Raheem Anthony, and Kareem Anthony Bello. So we have more scoring wings. We don't rely on a point guard who can only shoot from 3. We don't rely on a big man who can only really attack the rim. We got 3 wing scorers who can do it either way. Raheem Anthony also rebounds the basketball, leading the team there with 7 per game. Eli Cave, 52% from behind the arc. Kevin Gleason shooting a clean 50% from 3. At one point, I think this has dropped off a little bit, Eli Cave was top 3 in the country in 3-point percentage. So again, that's your SMU Cardinals sitting at 6-1. They're going into battle today against the Wheaton Thunder, who come in at 8-2, 3-0 in their conference. Their 2 losses have come to 2 teams that have struggled a little bit early on this year, but they were close games. It was a 78-75 loss to the 4-4 Lake Forest Foresters, and a 68-66 overtime loss to the 5-4 Ripon College team. The Wheaton Thunder's point differential has been ridiculous. It's the best in the tournament. Through 10 games, their point differential sits at plus 168. They're absolutely dominating the teams that they have played so far this year. Now, I don't really know the quality of those opponents. We'll really see today, all 4 of these teams are quality teams. So to see this tournament and to have all of these teams in this tournament, it's going to tell us a lot about, how these teams are going to turn out the rest of the year. I remember last year, Wheaton College and Hanover, they played in the national tournament. They met last year, so I'm sure the tournament organizers this year want to see Wheaton beat St. Mary's and want to see Hanover beat Dubuque, so that we'll get a little bit of a rematch. But if St. Mary's has anything to say, that won't happen. Wheaton, their leading scorers in Yamanye Adam. He's coming in at 18.9 points per game. They also have Tyson Cruikshank and Anajuwan Spencer. They spread the ball around. Spencer is 6'8", and then Cruikshank 5'11", Adam 6'1". So they have 2 scoring guards, and then they can drop it in to Spencer on the inside. He's averaging 10.7 points per game. They can also bomb from the 3-point line. 89 of 217. They shoot more than their opponents by a considerable margin. That's 41% from behind the arc. They also have 5 players in double digits. So they do not rely, just like the Cardinals, they do not rely on one player. They do have that one guy in Adam who can average close to 20 points a game, but they don't rely on it. And then over to the other side. So that game will take place at 7 o'clock. This one will take place at 5. That's Dubuque against Hanover. Dubuque comes in at 7-2, 1-1 in their conference. Their 2 losses came to the number 6th ranked Nebraska Wesleyan team and Northwestern St. Paul. Northwestern, if you remember, also made the national tournament. So 2 teams that made the national tournament last year, those are their only 2 losses. That was a 25-point loss to Nebraska Wesleyan and an 18-point loss to Northwestern St. Paul. Northwestern 7-6, so we'll see if that tournament bid is in jeopardy with a early season record like that, but Nebraska Wesleyan off to exactly the start they wanted, 10-2. Dubuque, they have the worst differential in the tournament, and it's still spectacular at plus 71 through 9 games. Their leading scorers, Mitch Berger, Peter Reagan, and Avery Butler, 5'10", 6'3", and 6'6", respectively. Mitch Berger also comes in averaging 4.4 assists per game and 4 rebounds per game, while Avery Butler is nearly averaging a double-double with his 12 points and 9 rebounds per game. Don't know much about this Dubuque team. I'm excited to see. I'm going to go to both games today and both games tomorrow. Again, to reiterate, whoever wins today will face off tomorrow in the championship game, and whoever loses today will play in the 3rd place consolation game. So either way, every team is playing 2 games over the course of these 2 days. Really fun stuff, if you ask me. And then finally, Hanover. They come in at 6-2, 2-1 in their conference, the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. Their losses have come to a 7-1 Defiance team. Defiance, just such a fun name for a school. That was a 6-point loss. And then a loss to 9-0 Wittenberg. Wittenberg is the 3rd ranked team in the country. That was a 17-point loss to them. They come in with a point differential of plus 118. Isaac Hibbard, Mark Albers, and Kevin Williams come in all averaging double digits in the scoring column. 6 foot, 6'5", and 6'5". So if you're asking me, I think the biggest matchup problem for this St. Mary's team is going to be the team that they play today. Anajuwan Spencer comes in at 6'8". The Cardinals have had troubles dealing with large athletic scorers in the paint. So that's going to be the biggest matchup issue. And if they can get over the Thunder today, I don't know if they'll have much problem with Dubuque or Hanover, really, depending on who wins that game. 3 of these 4 teams have lost to ranked opponents, and that's pretty much it. I mean, St. Mary's lost. Their seldom losses come to a ranked opponent. Dubuque lost a pretty bad game to Nebraska Wesleyan, one of the best teams in the country, and Hanover lost to Wittenberg, another one of the best teams in the country. This is going to be a measuring stick for all 4 of these teams. It doesn't necessarily matter because none of these teams are in the same conference. None of these games count for conference, and that's the best way to get to the national tournament is through winning your own conference. But it's really going to tell each of these teams a lot. They're going to be able to take stock in what happens today and tomorrow. I can't wait to be out there. I can't wait to talk to Coach Fano. And yeah, that was a lot in 8.5 minutes. Thanks for listening, and can't wait until I'm back on the air for the Squeeze with Alec Rude. That'll be in a few Sundays. Stay tuned and go Cardinals.